Hello everyone in Oneness. Thank you so much for watching this video. In Oneness, I'm Jessica Delmar. This is part 2 of This is Where You Are on Your Ascension Journey, Trilogy Awakening. These are 8 steps that the physical incarnation goes through on their ascension journey to oneness through Trilogy Energy in the physical self. This is also directly connected to the 7 rays of light journey that a soul goes on in its ascension journey, if you will, in terms of raising its vibrational footprint. These 8 steps are intertwined with the 7 rays of light and go hand in hand. As the physical self moves up and ascends on its journey, so does the soul. And in this series, we are taking a look at that journey on both a soul and a physical level. I'm getting a lot of confirmation in terms of this feeling that I've been having really surrounding this trilogy energy. We left off in part 1 talking about that trilogy energy of mastering the spirit, mastering that divine feminine, divine masculine, and Christ consciousness energy balance within the physical self in order to establish and master a connection to your higher self and bringing in that higher self energy, that higher consciousness aspect of you into your physical so that you can embody that energy and express it through you. But I've been getting a lot of feeling in terms of this mass awakening, and what had come through in step 4 was that within the next 2 to 5 years, I want to say most of the collective will begin stepping into step 4, either consciously or unconsciously, because moving into New Earth 5D is, for a lot of people, is not going to be a conscious thing. Many people will move seamlessly into a higher vibrational dimension or the higher dimension of 5D without even really realizing it, but they're going to begin understanding that there are transformations happening within their experience, meaning they are embodying higher vibrational energy, leaving behind that duality and lower vibrational energies pulling them down. They are beginning to open up more to purpose and understanding a little bit of having a physical incarnation, not only being of physical incarnation, but being connected more spiritually, and really integrating more of an energetic aspect into their physical body, and becoming a little bit more aware in other aspects, such as even creating your own reality, being deliberate creators, and all of that stems from holding higher vibration as a person moves through their transformation, whether consciously or unconsciously. But this spring and summer is like a wave, a very strong wave of this trilogy energy of divine feminine, divine masculine, and Christ consciousness opening onto the planet, which will help in that domino effect, getting those pieces set up in motion for the mass awakening within the next 2 to 5 years for many of the unawakened people, unaware people, to begin stepping into more of a high vibrational version of themselves. And for many light workers who have been doing the work to step even further along their ascension journey, these 8 steps for a soul level, non-physical level, and physical level to make it further up to reaching oneness. So if you haven't yet watched part 1 of This is Where You Are on Your Ascension Journey, Trilogy Awakening, be sure to watch part 1 in order to understand part 2 better, because we are going to pick up right where we left off, talking about the next step that a soul takes on the 8-step journey to oneness, the ascension journey to oneness through Trilogy Energy. I'll put a link to part 1 below. So starting with step 1, we had this foundation energy which built step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4 upon. And this foundation energy was a trilogy foundation of the body of the self, meaning that physical incarnation. We were working within the physical incarnation to understand the physical incarnation a little bit more in terms of bridging and identifying the mind-body-spirit connection within the physical self. Step 5, now we begin to open up into a new foundation, a new trilogy foundation of the body, but now we are opening up more to the body of oneness, meaning the energy of oneness, embodying or being embodied in our physical body. So we're beginning to pull, instead of just your direct body and your direct connection to your higher self, we are now, it's like step 1 through step 4 was about getting into the vortex of your higher self. We've been talking about this more often here on YouTube and even more over on Patreon, but getting into the vortex of your higher self is about understanding your direct reality, understanding your purpose, understanding yourself a little bit more. Everything we spoke about in step 1 through step 4, that's very much about integrating and stepping more into your vortex of your higher self. And now beginning with step 5, you're kind of breaking out of that vortex of your higher self and opening into even higher vibrational energy, a higher umbrella of energy, if you will. And this higher umbrella of energy is the body of oneness. This is the vortex of oneness. And this is about integrating more of that oneness source energy through your higher self into your physical body to be embodied by you and expressed through you as you move further along on your physical incarnation's ascension journey to oneness, directly connected to your soul's journey through the 7 rays of light. So step 5, again, offers that new foundation. We're now into that body of oneness. This is about identifying the oneness mind-body-spirit connection. What came through is, here begins the steps in your journey of opening up the energy of oneness into the physical body, or rather, understanding the connection that you have through the physical body and into the greater soul, higher self, galactic self, and ultimately up into the cosmos and source and greater energy of oneness. This is about you opening up or recognizing yourself as source, recognizing the power of your breath. You may not consciously understand this connection in your physical, but by desiring to be part of the greater whole of the universe, it triggers recognition and awareness in your ultimate macro aspect as Source itself. Source begins to remember its 369 powerful breath, and this begins the directing of energy into further expansion, alignment, and rhythm and flow with oneness. So in step 1, it was about recognizing in your physical aspect that you are greater than your physical body, and this is about recognizing the mind-body-spirit connection. Just recognizing it, not necessarily understanding it, but recognizing that there is a greater connection, or having that desire for a greater connection to something more energetic, not just your physical, but having that desire to connect to more of a soul level, activates your soul in step 1 to open up and recognize and remember its 369 breath in connection to the greater universe. That helps to filter that energy through you and direct the energy into your expansion, into further along these 8 steps of your ascension journey to oneness through Trilogy Energy. So now we're kind of moving with that same type of energy here in step 5 as we have a new foundation, but this time it's about recognizing yourself, now being able to embody your higher self. But now that you're in a new sort of body, if you will, you have a new recognition, a new spark for expansion, a new desire to expand into something even greater. And by you having that desire to expand into something even greater than you embodying your higher self, that allows the higher aspect of your higher self, meaning the energy of source, the energy of oneness itself, to gain recognition in its own body, if you will, and therefore filter that even greater 369 breath of the universe into your higher self aspect, which filters into your physical body to be expressed through you. What came through is This is about opening your physical body into your oneness body and truly understanding your purpose in the greater universe and your ability to powerfully create not only your physical reality, but your very own universe that exists within the greater universe. And recognizing that you are co-creating with millions and billions of other people who are also creating their own realities and universes as well. Step 5 returns to the same concept as step 1 that we spoke about, applying the oneness body very much to the physical body, as within, so without. The oneness body, or rather the oneness aspect of the physical self, consists of a trilogy of energy that also includes the mind, body, and spirit, but this time it's the oneness mind, oneness body, and oneness spirit. This is opening up to the surface level idea that there exists more than your physical reality, and that in the greater divine playing out of the universe exists something that is greater than you are connected to. And this something greater consists of a mind, body, and spirit of its own. The oneness mind is tied to all the steps that we've spoken about from step 1 into step 4. In your physical ability to master the mind, the body, and the spirit of the physical body and self, it acts as a sort of key to unlock your ability to open up into this step 5, into the greater oneness mind aspect at least. And then opening up into the greater oneness mind aspect opens and unlocks the connection between the oneness mind, oneness body, and oneness spirit. The oneness body consists of the divine body of the cosmos, and the oneness spirit is the energy of source and oneness itself. This is the ultimate so-called creators of the great universe that you exist within. Again, step 5 is very surface level. Mastering step 5 is more like opening your curiosity, that desire to know more, desire to know what is next outside of your physical body connected to your higher self. So step 1 and step 5 are more like these foundations that direct the energy through curiosity and desire to know more. Now let's connect step 5 to the soul journey on the 7 rays of light target board. So part 1 of this video series of This is Where You Are in Your Ascension Journey Trilogy Awakening, we spoke about the connection between the 8 steps to oneness through Trilogy Energy and the 7 rays of light vibration, and how as the physical incarnation makes its way up the steps in their ascension journey on a soul level, the soul is also advancing on this target board, raising its vibration on a soul level in order to make its way back to oneness on a soul level, meaning you're making your way back to oneness through a physical and non-physical energetic level, vibration, realm of existence, if you will. So when a person on their physical ascension journey, when they are able to master step 5, which is about identifying the oneness mind, body, spirit, on a soul level, their soul opens up into the 4th ray of light. The 4th ray of light is the ray of love. It has the quality of purity and energy of love in the physical, meaning that when the soul is able to open up into this 4th ray of light, in the physical aspect, the person basically has opened their heart completely. The 4th ray of light represents love and purity of the heart, and the color of the 4th ray is emerald. So here, the 7 rays of light can be seen as this target board. The 7 rays are wave vibrations, the 7th ray being the lowest vibrational wave, but still higher vibrational because a person, a soul, can be completely off of this target board in the very, very low vibrations. So making it onto the target board of the 7th ray of light means that your soul is vibrating within the higher ranges. And as the soul continues to raise its vibration through its journey of the 7 rays of light, directly connected to its physical incarnation, having the journey of the 8 steps to oneness through Trilogy Energy. They go hand in hand. The soul is able to move and work its way through this target board, raising its vibration. Now we get into step 6, and step 6 is mastering the oneness mind. What came through is mastering the oneness mind is mastering the connection between the energy of your reality and the energy of your universe. So with this oneness mind, we're just very much working with energy. What came through is, just like in step 2, we dive into the mind. Instead of diving into the mind of the physical body, however, step 6 is about diving into the mind of the cosmos, the mind of oneness. Mastering the oneness mind consists of the trilogy energy of the conscious, unconscious, and subconscious, just like mastering the physical body and the self in step 2. But now you are beginning to understand how the universe is filtered through you as a physical incarnation. This is opening your soul into the 3 energy and breath, this pattern of breath of the greater universe. We spoke about the 369 energy pattern, that sacred energy pattern of the greater universe, also encompassing the micro and the macro of the universe. And how it directly connects to these steps. The first 4 steps very much connected. It created its own set of 3 waves, the 369 energy. And so now we're beginning to open up into a whole new 369 energy pattern. Very similar to the first 4 steps, but now we are making our way into a more expansive level. So if you think of a spiral, it's like we are moving up and up that spiral, but the energy is going to continue in that pattern of the 369 energy, where it just kind of goes on and on for infinity in this sets of 3. The 369 energy consists of waves of expansion and contraction within each of the 3 energy, the 6 energy, and the 9 energy. And then it basically continues on again. It continues in an infinite cycle of 369. And this is about that breath, the inhale and the exhale of, or the rhythm of the greater universe that affects everything within the universe. The conscious mind of oneness, or the conscious mind of the universe, is manifested through you. You are creating not only your own reality, but your own universe in your attention, recognition, and ability to stand firm in your now moment. The conscious oneness mind is also connected to you as you are in your now moment. So we spoke about in a past video about the collapsing into the now moment 5D timeline. I'll put a link to that video below. Basically, we're at a time where people are being sort of shoved or pushed into 2 significant timelines, the 5D timeline or the 3D timeline. You are aligning to one of these timelines as you make your way further up into your ascension and journey into New Earth 5D, or wherever it is that you're headed, very much connected to what you have decided upon on a soul level. So people who have decided to move with 5D New Earth, they're going to be shoved and pushed into their now moment timeline. So for that person, if they are in resistance, it can very much cause and create even more resistance, even more duality, in order for them to wake up and understand that their higher self, their higher aspects are trying to get their attention to pay attention to not what they do not want, but having understanding of what you do not want provides a stronger desire for what you do want. And in your strong desire for what you do want, you immediately are swept up into the higher vibrational timeline if you are able to direct and focus on what it is that you do want versus what it is that you do not want. This higher vibrational 5D timeline is your now moment timeline. It is about living in your now moment, because when you are present in your now moment, it's like, we all know that past, present, future, time does not necessarily exist. When we were in a very linear timeline, we saw things in a linear way, but now we're stretching up and expanding above that linear timeline. We are beginning to integrate past, present, future, and beyond, bending space and time, if you will, and that all can be done only if you are able to fully be in your now moment, because in your now moment, you have access to your past, present, future, and beyond, as well as everything that ever was, is, and ever will be within your soul memory, the universal memory, when you're able to open up into those higher vibrations of the universe and bring through all of this knowledge and information held in these container or storage spaces of memory. The lower vibrational 3D timeline is sticking with the energy of 3D Earth and playing that role out, playing that timeline out in order to play its own role in the greater expansion of the universe. So regardless if you are being pushed into your 5D now moment timeline or the 3D timeline, you're going to be pushed into the timeline that your soul has decided upon pre-birth. So in the physical, you are just merely playing out your role that you decided upon pre-birth. But whatever you have decided upon, it's exactly where you need to be, because you are playing a greater role that needs to play out for the greater expansion of the entire universe. This is why in step 5, we spoke about how the oneness mind consists of all aspects that came before, meaning step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. In steps 1 through 4 is mastering the physical body and the self. Because in your ability to master your physical body and yourself, it puts you into the driver's seat, which only exists in the now moment. You are able to live in your now moment, and your now moment is where you are able to unlock your connection to the greater oneness mind. The unconscious oneness mind is all the knowledge of the greater universe that seems out of reach to you in your conscious state. But in your ability to bridge your conscious oneness mind, meaning your conscious now moment, which includes your conscious, unconscious, and subconscious minds in the physical body and self, when you're able to bridge this conscious oneness mind with the unconscious oneness mind, you are able to bring through the information of this greater universe, such as what is stored in the universal Akashic or other stored memories. The subconscious oneness mind acts the same way as the other subconscious minds that we've spoken about in step 2 and step 3. The subconscious mind very much bridges your ability to connect the conscious and the unconscious minds. The subconscious oneness mind acts as a sort of halfway point in this step, in step 6. It acts as a halfway point between the conscious and the unconscious minds, sort of allowing you to climb the ladder from conscious mind to unconscious mind. So as you're climbing the ladder from the conscious oneness mind, you reach the subconscious oneness mind, which helps then allow you to reach even further into the unconscious oneness mind. Mastering the subconscious oneness mind is connecting to the galactic mind, which is understanding your galaxy a bit more, and possibly even connecting to information from that galactic mind, which also includes connecting to galactic beings or other dimensional beings which hold the knowledge of your galaxy. Some light workers are here in step 6, and many will begin opening even further along into this step 6 in the upcoming year as you move further along in understanding your now moment even deeper. So a lot of people are still, people or light workers who have been doing the work can connect further with their higher self, connect further with their galactic families. This is reaching up into the galactic mind and really starting to understand the now moment a little bit more. What came through is within the next year, even maybe 1 to 5 years, light workers are going to begin opening up more in this step 6, in connecting to their selves further in step 4. What had come through in part 1, we spoke about step 4 and how many people in the unawakened collective, or many people who are just starting their ascension journeys, within the next 2 to 5 years, these people are going to very strongly connect and begin mastering step 4, begin mastering the spirit aspect of themselves and integrating a more balanced trilogy energy here with the divine feminine, divine masculine, and Christ consciousness energy. And for many light workers, for many awakened people already, many people who are aware, it's about mastering more of this oneness mind and gaining more momentum here to integrate more of this oneness mind, more of this balanced trilogy energy here in step 6 into your physical incarnation's ascension journey. What came through is you will begin to connect to other aspects of you, such as galactic beings, higher vibrational and higher dimensional beings, past, present, and future versions of yourself. So we spoke about this in the Source Within series in May, and what had come through is we are creating our own universe. And so everything that exists within our universe, if you take out, time and space, every single aspect of you is being created, or it is existing within your universe. Because we are co-creating with others, our universes are very closely connected to others who vibrate very close in vibration with us. And so our universes can overlap, or we can reach into other people's universes or other beings' universes if our vibrations are similar, if they are of similar vibration and frequency. And I'll put the screenshots that I spoke about in the Source Within above. It's a lot to go over, so if you haven't yet watched the Source Within, go ahead and watch that video series, because it speaks about how we are creating our own universes and how through this ascension journey, in connection to these 8 steps, in connection to the 7 rays of light, also connected to us moving into our now moment timeline, we are sort of smoothing out the universes that we are creating for ourselves, but also co-creating with other people. So what used to be sort of mismatched universes, scattered universes, misaligned universes in discord and disharmony, are now going to begin smoothing out and begin aligning the rhythm of their breath to the greater universe. So we're going to become more in alignment with each other and in alignment with the vibration and breath of each of our universes are going to just come into more flow and harmony with each other versus the disarray that it was in our linear timeline and in our lower vibrational and lower dimensional timelines. And so this ladder of energy from the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious oneness minds is all bridged through the conscious oneness mind, because in the conscious oneness mind, in your now moment, you are pulling through subconscious as well as unconscious. We're going to now open up from step 6, moving into step 7. Step 7 is about mastering the oneness body. Mastering the oneness body is mastering the connection between your physical experience and your physical universe. So step 7 was about mastering the connection between the energy of your reality and universe. And now step 7 is about mastering the physical experience between your physical reality and universe. Just like in step 2 and 3, the mind is connected to the body. Your thoughts greatly impact your physical body and reality. In turn, your physical body and reality respond to your thoughts and energy. Step 7 is about opening your soul into the 6 energy and breath in that 3-6-9 energy pattern. But again, we are in a more expansive opening of that 3-6-9 breath, if you think of that spiral energy. So, step 7 is understanding how you are creating on a much bigger scale as you open your mind of oneness in your physical. You are impacting the greater whole, which includes your planetary collective as well as Mother Gaia, your galaxy, your universe, Source itself, as well as the energy of oneness. So once you begin mastering step 6 of mastering that oneness mind, you begin to understand that you are now mastering as well the oneness body. You are affecting and impacting the greater whole. Not only that, but you are giving life to the greater whole, and in turn, the greater whole is giving life to you. So this very much connects to the information that we spoke about in the Source Within series in May about how we are very much Source, and Source is us, and how we are giving life to Source, and Source is giving life to us. And in turn, this is a cycle of creation energy that helps expand the whole in the greater aspect, as well as all the micro aspects. Mastering the oneness body consists of the trilogy of energy of conscious, unconscious, and subconscious as well, same as the mind. However, this time, just like in step 3, is the conscious, unconscious, and subconscious manifestation of your universe and the greater whole. This is when we are beginning to understand that we are creating our own universe, versus in step 3, we are beginning to understand that we are creating our direct reality. The conscious oneness body is your awareness and mastering of consciously manifesting for the greater good. So this includes everything within your now moment, including all of the universe. But to bring it closer to home in your now moment, your conscious reality of the greater good consists of your planet Gaia. It consists of your communities and your collective of co-creators on your planet, including all living and non-living beings on and within your planet. The unconscious oneness body is your awareness and mastering the manifestation of the greater universe as it exists in your unconscious. So it's like you do not know what is happening on other planets and galaxies, but yet you, in your ability to create your own universe, are creating those galaxies and planets and all life within your universe. Did you know this? So when you are able to consciously manifest in your reality, consciously bring in balance to your direct reality, you are then creating a ripple wave that will affect the unconscious oneness body, and this wave goes out into the entire universe, into other planets and galaxies. As long as you are holding that energy of balance, the energy of connectedness, you are extending that same energy of creation into and throughout your entire universe. In unaware state, in the unawakened state, for many people who are holding that energy of duality and conflict and lower vibrational energies, it's still affecting the creation of their reality as well as the creation of their entire universe. And so that ripple wave that goes out throughout all the corners of the universe, of their universe that you are creating, is going to mimic the energy that you are holding and creating for yourself in your direct now moment. And if it is energy of imbalance, if it's energy of duality and conflict and war and suffering and greed and hate and lower vibrational energies, all of that energy is being extended out throughout your entire universe that you are creating for yourself. The subconscious oneness body works again as that bridge between the conscious and the unconscious minds, or the unconscious oneness bodies. It brings into your awareness through your ability to tap into the galactic mind. In step 6, we spoke about how you're climbing that ladder. When you're able to tap into the galactic mind on your ascension of this ladder, then in your subconscious oneness body, by being able to tap into that galactic mind and possibly communicating with other galactic beings, other dimensional beings, it gives you sort of a peek into what lies outside of your direct reality and planet. And this helps you to open up your mind a little bit more into understanding what's happening in the greater unconscious oneness body, existing even further outside of your galactic reality. When you begin to understand the conscious oneness body of step 7, meaning that when you begin to understand how you as an individual are creating not only your direct reality, but your entire planet's existence within your universe, within your galaxy, you begin monitoring your ability to create more consciously and consistently, because you are now understanding how your thoughts and mind not only impact your direct physical reality, but it impacts, again, it sends out those waves of energy that impacts the greater collective and your planet Gaia, but also the even greater universe and other planets and galaxies. It can also be looked at as in terms of you in your now moment being a mind, and your reality, whether it's your direct reality or your collective reality, your planetary reality, your galactic reality, your universal reality, the things that you're creating on all of these macro and micro scales of you, they are responding. This is another way of looking at it. Instead of you creating them, it's like everything is also responding to you in your now moment. It is responding to you, your thoughts, your emotions, your vibration, just like how your body and your physical body responds to your mind, but also the same way that your mind tells your physical body what to do. So it's a very connected environment. It's an ecosystem that is cohesive and works together both ways. What came through is that when you begin to understand just one part of this trilogy energy of step 7, meaning that say you are on your journey and you are beginning to understand this conscious oneness body, meaning you're beginning to understand how you are creating this entire experience on the planet and the collective and your direct reality, then this begins the rollout of your physical, feel it, touch it, taste it, hear it, smell it, live it, New Earth 5D. This is when the physical manifestation of New Earth 5D begins to take shape, and the birthing and crowning, if you were thinking of like a birthing process, what was being shown to me, a mother giving birth, it's starting the crowning phase of the child to be birthed. This is the crowning phase of New Earth beginning to be birthed into physical manifestation from our thoughts. What came through next is, behold your power of creating your own universes and realities and impacting Mother Gaia and your collective of co-creators. You are birthing New Earth 5D in your realization of how everything in the universe is created in response to you. So when I want to say most of the collective is able to, or I want to say even it's powerful within just a small percentage of light workers who are really doing the work to really step into step 7 of mastering this oneness body. It's like the people are at the forefront of birthing New Earth 5D, and as more people filter in through these steps up through their own ascension journey, the birthing takes place further and further along. It opens it more and more and more into creating a physical, see it, touch it, taste it, feel it, hear it, smell it, live it, experience New Earth 5D in the physical. This is a collective co-creation of New Earth 5D as more and more people begin understanding, first of all, the connection between their mind, body, spirit, and their physical, and then opening that up into connecting more to your higher self in your physical, embodying your higher self, and then connecting that even further up into your connection to creating your own realities for yourself, for the collective, for the planet, and for the universe. So now let's get into step 8. Step 8 is mastering the oneness spirit. Mastering the oneness spirit is mastering your connection to oneness and source through your physical incarnation. This is when you begin to bring through the energy and divine essence of oneness into your physical aspect, your physical body, through your ability to live and exist in your now moment. This step 8 is the ultimate enlightenment of your physical body, when you can bring forth the knowledge, energy, and physical manifestation of the entire universe, source, and oneness into your physical being. This is opening your soul into the 9 energy and breath of that more expansive 369 set of waves. You are an extension of source having a physical experience. This is easy to say and to hear, and you've heard it over and over and over again, but do you truly, really, fully, knowingly know, feel, and understand this? In understanding these 8 steps in connection to the 7 rays of light, you are beginning to understand more of the exact role that you are playing as a physical incarnation, being more than just a physical incarnation, and opening up to more purpose and understanding on the greater macro and micro scales of you and fully you, everything that is you. Step 8 is the trilogy energy of Ra, or the solar sun, source, and oneness. This is the ultimate trilogy energy that seamlessly connects you to the entire universe and creation itself, and the entire universe and creation itself connected seamlessly to and through you in your physical experience. The solar sun is represented by Ra energy on your physical planet, and the solar sun connects you through a portal to all the other suns that exist within your universe. We went over this in the Soul Origins and the 7 Rays of Light videos, the last 3 or 4 videos of that series, when we spoke about the universal energetic cycle of the physical incarnation and how everything is a micro and a macro of each other, and how you are creating your own universe, and how your energy is filtered through all of these suns. So source itself filters into central sun, into the galactic sun, into the solar sun, into the planets. But here with this trilogy of energy, we are specifically talking about the suns being connected, because the suns are like portals that open you up into further micro and macro of each other. The solar sun in your galaxy is a portal to all the other suns in your universe. This also connects the stream of divine masculine energy into your physical construct and reality. The source aspect of this trilogy energy is ultimately you on a greater, grander scale, but also you in your now moment, in connecting, in your ability to connect you as source into your now moment. You give life to Source, and Source gives life to you. We speak more about this in May's video series of the Source Within. Source in this aspect of this trilogy also encompasses divine feminine energy, because what came through is that you exist in the playground of the energy of divine feminine, which is Gaia Earth. Gaia provides the divine feminine host or playground for you to incarnate into and open into this experience in order to give you an opportunity to move through these 8 steps of the physical incarnation's ascension journey to oneness and journey back to knowing yourself, journey back to oneness. And finally, the oneness aspect of this divine trilogy energy, this step 8, connects you back to the portal of everything and nothing and all that is. This oneness aspect is the center of creation, the void, the 0 point where everything and nothing exists. This is the blank canvas where everything is possible and you are the creator creating your masterpiece. Again, we speak more about all of that in terms of the blank canvas and you being a creator creating your masterpiece more in the Source Within series that we went over in May. I'll put a link to that series below. So we spoke about in part 1 of this video series how step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4 were each they go hand in hand with the 7 rays of light. When it comes to step 6, 7, and 8, what had come through is 6, 7, and 8 kind of open up into a wave of energy, if you will. It's like what came through is the first 3 rays and the last 3 steps of the journey back to oneness do not necessarily have to go in order of achievement. It is a wave of energy, or it is a wave of oneness energy that opens and unfolds hand in hand together. So when a person is able to go through step 6, step 7, and step 8, it's like they're going through the last 3 steps simultaneously and opening up the energy of the oneness mind, oneness body, and oneness spirit at the same time. And it goes hand in hand with the soul opening its expansion into the first 3 rays of light, which are the highest vibrational, highest frequencies of the universe that are very, very close, if not in alignment with the energy of Source itself. So when a person is able to master the oneness mind in the physical aspect, on a soul level, the soul opens up to the 2nd ray of light. The 2nd ray has the quality of wisdom, energy of knowledge. It is that divine masculine aspect. It is raw energy of oneness in the mind. It represents mind thought. It represents the mind of the cosmos or the mind of God. And it is left brain or visionary. The color of the 2nd ray is indigo. When a person is able to step into step 7, which is mastering that oneness body, on a soul level, the soul is able to open up into the 3rd ray of light. The 3rd ray has the quality of divine love energy of life. It is that Christ consciousness energy, that L energy. It represents the body of the cosmos or the body of God and the heart of God. And the color of the 3rd ray is blue. And when a person is able to step into step 8, which is mastering that oneness divine spirit, then on a soul level, the soul opens up into the 1st ray of light. The 1st ray is the quality of power and the energy of open creative energy and life force energy. It is that divine feminine, the is energy. The 1st ray represents the spirit feelings, energy of God, the mind of the cosmos, the mind of God, and it is that right brain or that creative aspect, and the color of the 1st ray is violet. Now, once a soul in the body is able to achieve all 8 steps, as well as raise their vibration along the 7 rays of light simultaneously hand in hand, which what came through is it takes many lifetimes for a soul to achieve all of the 7 rays of light in alignment with the 8 steps in the physical. But when a soul and in connection to its physical aspect is able to simultaneously open up these steps and these rays together, then the soul is then opened up back into the energy of source and the energy of oneness. What came through in the 7 Rays of Light video series was that once a soul achieves the highest vibration of the 7 rays of light, meaning the soul opens up into the first 3 rays, then the soul is able to merge back with source, and the soul becomes a source soul messenger, is what had come through in that video series of the 7 rays of light. When the soul becomes a source soul messenger, they now have access to any universe that was created by that source. And so that source soul messenger, their job or their purpose is to go wherever source energy is needed. So they are able to incarnate as source energy within a physical body, and they incarnate and open into a life of assignment from the greater source. At this moment, what came through is that source soul messengers have come to the planet Earth as Source's greater plan to help Gaia shift without directly interfering. So Gaia sent out her distress call, needed help. Source answered in its ability to help, which was to send some of its source soul messengers to Earth. Source cannot directly interfere with its creations, so it's like it's loving its creation from afar, but it cannot directly interfere. However, it sent its source soul messengers, only a few of them is what came through, to Gaia over the past many years of the Ascension. And what had come through is Jesus being one of the first source soul messengers to help in the Ascension process, in order to bring forward source energy onto the planet, source knowledge onto the planet, with specific missions to help awaken others. On the other hand, what now has opened up for me through this client co-creation session and bringing forward this information of the 8 steps to oneness is a whole other path that can open up for the soul after it reaches step 8, after it reaches the integration on a soul level of the first 3 rays of light, after it merges back with source energy and the energy of oneness. So a whole new other option opened up, another path that a soul can take once it's reached back into oneness and source after its long journey of ascension. What came through is that after a soul reaches step 8 of this ascension journey back to oneness, simultaneously alongside the raising of vibration of the soul through the 7 rays of light journey, the soul can choose 2 paths. At this moment, 2 paths have opened up in my memory. The first path is the path that we spoke about regarding source soul messengers, and the second path is a path of actually returning back to incarnate from the beginning once again, to start the ascension journey back to oneness through Trilogy Energy once again. So the soul goes back into the incarnation cycle of the 7 rays of light and Trilogy Energy. Why would a soul do this? Well, the soul would do this to open up to even greater expansion than the journey before. So if you want to think of that spiral energy once again, the slinky energy that we spoke about in the Source Within series, you are constantly on a journey of ascension. You are constantly opening up to more and more expansion through that spiral, opening up more and more. Even if you were to go around again to meet back where you started, you are still in an expansive point than where you had started. So every journey that a soul takes through these 8 steps or through the 7 rays of light, they are moving up in expansion. And so by returning back to the beginning, they're not necessarily returning back to the beginning, but they are returning back in order to continue that spiral, continue the journey of expansion into higher and higher and greater heights. Once a soul has reached the energy of source and oneness, that knowledge of its journey to reach source and oneness will always be in the soul memory and stored knowledge of that soul. The soul is always going to have access to source and oneness energy if it's made that journey before. But in starting the incarnation process all over again, in starting and returning back to the beginning, the incarnation, the soul, will have another opportunity to be able to recognize it once again, to be able to master itself in the physical and non-physical once again. So that physical and non-physical aspect of itself still has to be able to find its way back to remembering its memory of its previous journey, as well as the memory of source and oneness energy and knowledge, as it moves through its new physical incarnation's ascension journey to oneness through Trilogy Energy, hand in hand, side by side, simultaneously with the soul journey of the 7 rays of light. So here on the screen we have, after step 8 has been mastered, the soul in this aspect returns back to the beginning of mastering itself once again. And this is what came through with the client co-creation session with my client. So she brought through her own memory because she had gone through this process and she had chosen, at least at this point, to return back to the beginning, back to start the ascension journey all over again, the ascension journey to oneness through Trilogy Energy, rather than becoming that source soul messenger. So in her journey of returning back to the beginning of mastering the physical self, she started all over again and is remembering that memory of her past journey. She's remembering her reconnection to source and oneness and the knowledge and energy that she had achieved before, and is starting to remember and recognize that again in her new journey. So here we have all of the 8 steps of the ascension journey of that physical incarnation together. And what came through is, just like the spiral or that slinky energy that we spoke about in the source within, it's a continual, infinite expansion point, right? So what had come through was that there are 8 layers or 8 steps within the ascension journey to oneness. The number 8 representing infiniteness or infinity, meaning that the soul journey, the 8 steps, is an infinite cycle of the 8 steps to oneness through Trilogy Energy in alignment or hand in hand simultaneously with the 7 rays of light. It is an infinite cycle of these 8 steps and the 7 rays of light over and over and over again, spiraling up, if you think of that slinky, over and over and over again, infiniteness. So that's what needed to come through in part 2. In part 3, we are going to dive deeper into what came through for my client, the information that came through for her, as well as more understanding this infinite cycle of this ascension journey of a soul and of a physical incarnation, and what it really means and how we can view this in the larger aspect, micro and macro, and also connecting all of this to ancient Egypt and how ancient Egypt played a huge role for a lot of people, my client included, in terms of returning back to the beginning of mastering the physical self. For her first incarnation after reaching the journey to oneness, when she chose to come back, she incarnated into the time of ancient Egypt for a specific reason, and many other souls did as well, in order to contribute to that blueprint for our future, for the time that we're in right now, in connecting, past, present, future, and beyond, folding time and space. But it gets really interesting, and we're going to talk more about the Trilogy Energy and this journey in part 3. Thank you so much for watching this video. Together with you in Oneness, I'm Jessica Delmar. Oneness and love be with you.